Hey everyone, it's Greg, and it's another edition of Unbreakable Spirits, TGIF. It is Friday, September the 8th. And today we're going to talk about going to give you my predictions on the NFL playoffs this year. Uh, and we're going to talk, I'm playing Weddingville Blues in the background here. It's an old song by the Fifth Dimension. They're still around. I'm playing it for a reason because I have a scenario for you today about a wedding dilemma, let's call it that way, that I want you to think about. But before we do that, we're going to say, well, it's day number 9, and our local convict is still on the lane. Uh, he's moving south, but they think he's still contained, but they haven't gotten him yet. It really isn't a funny story. It's really terrifying because he's been in Longwood Gardens, which is a local place here near me, the flowers and trees. It's very beautiful. We go down there a lot. Um, Schools down that way are closed, southern Chester County. Um, it's just, people are just terrified. 9 days this guy has been on the run, and he hasn't been caught yet. Um, I know the cops are doing the best they can, but come on, 9 days and the guy's still out there running wild. I think he's obviously on the move at night. And they had a cop on the other day, yesterday, who said, I think this guy must be traveling at night. No, duh. Of course he is. Uh, it seems like he's going back and forth and back and forth. He's so small. This guy's only like 5 foot tall. That he's hiding under trees and under bushes and stuff. Anyway, despite the dogs, despite the drones, despite the helicopters, despite all the technical equipment that they have nowadays, they can't find him. Um, he shows up on surveillance tape, people's backyards. All the gardens have a surveillance tape of him walking their trails. Um, I don't know what to do. Where's Charles Bronson when we need him, right? Um, I don't know. It's what's happening though. I'll tell you what's happening, which is kind of a good thing and kind of not. Bounty hunters are starting to enter the seat, and they had one guy on the news yesterday who's a bounty hunter. He admits it, and he wants to go get the reward. I think it's up to $10,000, 20,000. That seems kind of light when you think about it for this guy who's been an escapee for 9 days now, and it's a national story. Anyway, this guy is a bounty hunter, and he said, "Oh, I'll go in and get him." So I'll take the dog, and I have a gun. I'm not afraid. I'll go get him. This guy even had a plan. He said, well, this escapee's got a drink. You have to have water to survive. So I'm just going to follow the trail down the Brandywine Creek. Uh, and eventually I'm going to find him, right? Because he's got a drink. So, but that's what's happening now. You're going to get a bunch of bounty hunters in the area uh, searching for this guy. And here's the thing: the cops came on TV yesterday and said, "No, we don't want any bounty hunters. It's just going to complicate the search, and uh, we don't want anybody getting hurt." Blah 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 blah, which is understandable. But look at it this way: is it the object to catch the guy finally, so people could go to school again, kids could go to school again, people could unlock the doors uh, and not be afraid? I mean, so far what the cops are doing is not working. They may be containing him, although he is slipping through somehow. Uh, I don't know. I just think this guy eventually has to make a break for it somewhere. Uh, he can't do this forever, can he? I mean, within this 2 mile radius. I have a friend on Twitter, I still call it Twitter, who was joking with her niece who lives in that area. And she was joking and said, don't forget to check your closets and under the beds and everything. He might be in there. Uh, you know, what can you say after 9 days, right? Eventually, this guy is going to be caught, and eventually, he's going to go back to jail, and life will go on. Until then, everybody in this area is just really apprehensive, and you can't blame them. You can't blame them. So let's hope that they find this creep uh, today, soon, right? At least by the end of the weekend, so we can all get back to normal. Um, Playoffs. Hey, the first game in the NFL season was last night, and as I predicted, the Lions won. Well, I didn't actually say the Lions would win the game, but I did say the Lions would cover yesterday, and they certainly did. They were getting 4.5 points, and they actually won the game 21-20. The Lions have a decent team. You know, if they could go into Kansas City and win the first game of the season, you're going to have to respect the Lions this year. They're not your old grandfather's Detroit Lions. And I think, Kansas City, yes, they were missing some key guys, including Travis Kelce. But I just don't think they're hungry enough this year. You know, all the fans were at Arrowhead. They unveiled the championship banner and all that pomp and circumstance before the game. But even the announcer said, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it did last year. The crowd wasn't as enthusiastic like they should have been. And I don't know. It just, I think that's what's going to happen to the Chiefs. I think they're going to definitely have a good year. They may win the AFC West again, but will they go back to the Super Bowl? I don't think so. And I'm not talking about just because they lost last night. I just mean in general. I just don't think they're going to have the hunger and the drive and the luck to get back to the Super Bowl this year. But I may be wrong. We'll see what happens. So the last couple of days, we talked about the division winners in the NFL, in the NFC, in case you missed the other program. I have the Eagles winning the East, the Falcons winning the South, the Vikings winning the North, not the Lions, and 49ers reluctantly winning the West. I don't think they're that good of a team, but somebody has to win it out there. And in the AFC, I've got the Bills winning the East. I've got the Ravens winning the North, the Jaguars winning the South, and the Chiefs winning the West. Now we're going to talk about the playoffs. So obviously, all those teams winning their divisions are going to be in. We need two other wildcard teams for a conference. Now in the NFC, I definitely think the Lions are going to make it as a wildcard team. And they're going to be very dangerous. You're going to have to worry about the Lions. I think the Lions are going to need a year or two to gain experience of being in the playoffs. I don't think they're ready to take that next step yet. So Lions will get in, but I don't think they're going to go that far. The other wild card team, I will say, between the Cowboys and the Giants, I'm actually going to say the Giants. Not only because I hate Dallas, Dallas sucks, but I think the Giants are going to have a pretty good team this year. I don't think they're going to backslide that much. I think they have a great coach. They're starting to build their offensive line, their receivers. They have Saquon Barkley back at running back. Daniel Jones had a really good year last year. I think New York is going to make it. I think Dallas is going to be the team on the outside looking in. Um, Dak Prescott, I'm still not sold on him. They don't have as good of a running game as they used to have. Uh, their coach is a dope, and he is now calling the plays. Good luck with that. And the Cowboys always screw up somehow, you know. Um, so I think that's your playoff teams there. Now I look at the NFC this way. I don't think anybody is going to beat the Eagles. Tell me a team who's going to beat the Eagles in the playoffs. I don't see one. San Francisco will be in the playoffs, but they're a phony, and they're not going to beat the Eagles. I think the Lions need more experience. Um, the Giants, you have to worry about the Giants. It's going to depend on where the game is played. If a championship game is in Philadelphia, or if it's in New York, or Atlanta, same thing as the Lions, not ready yet, but they'll get in. Uh, and the Vikings are the Vikings. They always choke under Kirk Cousins in when the spotlight is bright. So in the NFC, I would say the two teams that vie for the Super Bowl will be the Eagles. I'm going to say the Eagles and the Giants. Unless they hook up early in the playoffs, I'm going to say the Eagles and the Giants are going to play each other for the right to go to the Super Bowl. In the AFC, we have our division winners plus two wildcard teams. One wildcard team is definitely going to be the Chargers. They may win the AFC West. I'm big on the Chargers this year. I think Justin Herbert's going to take a step up at quarterback. And the only thing I don't like about the Chargers is their coach. Chargers are going to be in, definitely. And one of the AFC East team now, I have the Bills winning the East again this year. So I think it's either going to be the Jets or Miami will get in as a wild card team. I'm not sure which one. I would say the Jets, just because Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback there. But don't boy, I tell you, Cincinnati has got to get in with Burrow. I don't know about his health. And don't sleep on the Steelers. I think the AFC is so competitive. I mean, not only do they have most of the really good quarterbacks in the league now, the teams, I would say there's a good 6 teams that could really make a case to get to the Super Bowl. The AFC is really, really tough to pick. I'm going to say the teams in the AFC that will play to go to the Super Bowl will be the Bills and the Chargers. Bills and the Chargers, which should be an interesting game, depending on where it's played. I mean, the Chargers play in that indoor stadium in LA, different environment than if they're playing it in snowy, cold Buffalo. So that's going to be very interesting. So in the final 4, I have the Bills and the Chargers in the AFC, and I have the Eagles and the Giants in the NFC. Now, tomorrow, we'll talk about the Super Bowl. We'll talk about the matchups, who I think will be going to the Super Bowl, and who's going to win the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that tomorrow. It's going to be a great first week. On Sunday, the season has already started off great with the Lions upsetting the Chiefs in Kansas City last night. So I think it's going to be a topsy-turvy season. I think it's going to be very interesting this year. Very competitive. Anything can happen. So I wanted to run by this scenario by you guys before I leave today. And I saw this on the internet. And it's another thing to think about, discuss. There was this middle-aged couple, and their son was getting married. And now the father of the groom has been well known to be, let's say, not a social person. He keeps to himself. Uh, he's not a party guy. Um, they all know it. He's just a quiet, unassuming guy, doesn't like to go out, likes to stay home. He's a homebody, and definitely not into big shindigs or parties or whatever you want to call it. We know that. Okay, so come the day of the wedding, his son's wedding. Okay, the father, says to the son before the wedding, George or whatever the son's name is, you know, I really am very uncomfortable around crowds. I don't like big gatherings and parties and stuff. Uh, so if you don't mind, I may leave early from the wedding reception. It's just not my thing here. So the son reluctantly says, okay, Dad, okay, I mean, whatever, right? Obviously, the son wants his dad to be there for the whole ceremony and the whole reception. And it's a big day. But he says, okay. He's got other things on his mind, of course. Says, okay. The son is thinking that, okay, Pops is certainly going to go to the ceremony, certainly going to go to the reception, and certainly will be at the reception for a long time. Maybe at the very end, he'll want to cut out a little bit there, go home a little early, but that's cool as long as he's there for the majority of the time. So comes the day of the wedding. Father is there. Father of the groom is there for the ceremony. That's cool. He's getting a little antsy because, again, he doesn't like big ceremonies, big events, but he's there. Come the reception. They go to the reception, and before anything happens, before they cut the cake, before they do the toast to the bride and groom, before they do anything, the dancing, the anything, the father leaves. He leaves. Now, he did warn the son, but, until it happens, it's like, what? Dad is leaving? We just got to the reception, right? I mean, what the hell? Uh, so when it actually happened, the groom is like, wait a minute. He can't stay for a couple hours. This is my day. This is my special day. I don't get married every day. He can't stay for a few hours. So not only does the father leave, he takes the mother with him. Now, the mother didn't want to go. Obviously, she wants to stay at her son's wedding. And especially, they have the son and mother dance, during the reception and all the fun stuff, the cutting of the cake. And well, the reason she can't stay is because she can't drive, and the father has the car. Now, I guess he could have came back and picked her up for some reason. He didn't. They lived at a distance or something. I'm just not sure. But she couldn't get a ride home with anybody else. To make a long story short, she left too. And they're pissed at each other. They're fighting. They're arguing. The mother is yelling at the father on their way out the door. Why can't you stay? Blah, blah, blah. So And the groom and the bride are fighting because his parents could, oh, what a mess, what a mess. Well, this came up on the internet because the father, not the bride or not the groom, the father posted this um, online. And he says, my whole family thinks I'm an a-hole, a bleep hole. What do you think? He related the whole story. Well, I don't know if the father was trying to get sympathy or what, but almost all the comments that came back was, yeah, you're an a-hole, you're a bleep hole. Why can't you stay even another hour? This is your son, and it's his wedding day. I mean, what's more important? What's so important that you have to go home? Uh, that you can't stay at the wedding, right? Um, so that's the dilemma. I mean, I agree. I agree with all the people. I agree. Uh, either the father should have stayed, or if he didn't stay, he should have made arrangements for the mother to get home some other way. I mean, why should she have to go home just because this jerk can't stay at his son's wedding reception? I mean, it's really stupid, isn't it? Ah, so that's the dilemma. I won't even ask whether you have had this problem in the past or know someone because it's so stupid and so unique. I bet you don't know anybody like that. People are generally really happy for their kids when they're getting married, right? Jesus, Jesus. All right, well, that's today. That's our wedding issue. Or let's hope that they find this escapee. Like I said, I may go and be the bounty hunter too. Take Katie or Bud with me. They can pull the wheelchair through the woods. And I don't have a gun, but maybe Katie, maybe this should be so cute that he will not resist it and will give himself. I don't know. It's just, it's not too far away from me. Luckily, he's going in the opposite direction. But it is concerning, and to see it on the news every night and to see how they're bumbling and fumbling and not finding this guy. It is concerned. So let's hope that by the time I talk to you all again tomorrow, it's a big day tomorrow. It's Bud's birthday. We're going to celebrate my dog's birthday. We're going to talk more NFL. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. And, 9/11 is coming up. And Monday, we're going to talk 9/11. Plus, it's a special anniversary of one of my people that I really admired when I was growing up. Someone that I met, lucky enough to meet. It's his anniversary of his passing on Monday. And I wanted to make mention of that too. And so it's going to be a busy couple of days coming up. The Phillies are back tonight. Yay. It was really, really odd not to have a Phillies game last night to watch. But they're back tonight. They're back home. So let's hope they keep winning. So you guys take care. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you all again tomorrow. Take care.